Dovahkiin, something heen. These legendary words hail from the legendary game The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. Legendary as in you played it halfway through and never touched it again, which to be honest is a curse many Bethesda games have. Jokes aside, though after we have discussed why dragons would want to sire offspring with humans, elves and orcs, a video that can be summarized with just one single YouTube comment, we are going to take a closer look at those with dragon blood or other dragon aspects running through their vein, and how they and society would deal with it. And the first thing I want to discuss is the power level. If half-bloods have half of the strength and the abilities of their parent dragon, so half of their magic potential, half of their strength, half of their endurance, half of their protective scales and physical resistance, half of the dragon's respective lifespan, then it stands to reason that the only thing that keeps the Dragonborn from claiming absolute power is loyalty to their respective parent, long-term thinking as in you need a dragon to make more first-generation dragonbloods or half-dragons, and internal struggles and divisions between the various and quite numerous Dragonborn. Because if the dragon from my last video would have indeed sired hundreds of offspring that would be used as the aristocracy, the noble class ruling over those without dragon blood, then the rule of the dragon could actually work out like a Greek tragedy and like Greek mythology. Just like Kronos, the youngest of the Titans, had overthrown the oldest one, Uranus, I swear this is an actual Greek name, but in turn after Kronos effed up Uranus, he was overthrown by Zeus and his new order of Greek gods, the dragon might overthrow the old order of a nation to establish his very own reign, only for his kids to overthrow his very own reign in turn and claim absolute power for themselves. And such a setting would have an enormous amount of potential conflict and interesting perspectives. How would the Kinslayers, the Dragonbloods, feel about slaying perhaps the only dragon left, and the only father they had ever known? How would the social order work out afterwards, when there is no one stronger than a Dragonborn to keep them in line? A civil war? A Senate of the Dragonborn? Further cleansing and purges of any Dragonborn that could potentially challenge the leader of the dragon-slaying rebellion to establish an absolute monarchy with the leader at its top? And how would these Dragonborn then preserve their strength over the generations once they have slain the dragon? Would Dragonborn only marry other Dragonborn? If so, what about bastards? If a Dragonborn pregnancy lasts decades, and that of a half-Dragonborn lasts only 9 months, then realistically speaking, the Dragonborn need to cleanse any illegitimate offspring, because otherwise, sooner or later, the strength of these quarterling dragons would outshine and outnumber that of the half-dragons, and they would themselves be overthrown in a rebellion by an individually weaker but much more numerous enemy, just like their father. Or perhaps the Dragonborns will stay loyal to their father and fight for the approval and attention of their parent, taking great pride in their heritage, and, out of a sense of elitism, and out of a warning to not waste a dragon seed, they will only intermingle with another, forming a more or less stable upper class until the dragon dies of natural causes. Now, if the dragon blood is not as powerful, and if the dragon offspring is significantly weaker than the original dragon, if only some aspects are inherited, and if the dragon blood can stay dormant for generations, then its impact would be less pronounced, and the dragon blood less coveted. It would be something that is nice to have, and some will treat people with confirmed dragon blood in their veins as essentially some kind of loot box, hoping that the 1% chance to have a kid with dragon traits like sharp eyes, wings on their backs, or the ability to breathe fire will manifest in order for a noble to create a potential mighty warrior or magic caster or heir to the throne or to the estate. As for the person with dragon blood, being able to cast devastating magic, breathe fire, or crush rocks by pinching two fingers together, they would almost always be predestined for a military career, a career as a great bodyguard, or as a powerful outlaw. If normal spears can pierce your skin, if you are immune to disease, and can indeed breathe fire, if only for a short moment, you will be seen as special by your environment and peers, because you are. However, depending on your strength, the strength as your child, the willingness of the parent to raise you, and numerous other factors like other Dragonborn being established in the society or being shunned in society, this blessing, this boon, might also be seen as a curse, as something vile and tainting, as a corruption that sullies humanity's pure form. Dragonborn might be mistaken for the offspring of devils and demons, and therefore they will be reviled and hated, like the Omen from Elden Ring are. All of this may happen in spite of their greater strength and their larger size. As long as society can overpower or at least shame the Dragonborn into submission. Now, another way of how Dragonblood could influence Dragonborn is if they are indeed half as powerful as the normal dragons, and if the awakening happens more gradually. Essentially just like in a video game character that would level up, the Dragonblood would unlock more and more of his parents' abilities with greater age and experience. Then this heroic awakening could change the course of history of a nation, especially because statistics, in this very case, would be on the side of the normal peasantry, since they will make up to 80 or indeed 90% of the total population living in a medieval fantasy world. So if times are bad, and the rulers are even worse, the hero's journey, the story of a farm boy being born with special powers and discovering them bit by bit over the course of his hero's journey after an old wise man recognizes the signs of Dragonblood manifesting itself in the teen, would be indeed a clever bit of lore to start off a classic heroic tale of an adventurer overcoming adversity. And of course, if you want your hero to have special exclusive powers, then Dragonblood is perhaps one of the best ways to explain his or her awesome power. And with that said, now it's your turn. What do you think about Dragonborn and Dragonbloods, of people with Dragonblood or dragon abilities thanks to their parentage? Let me know it down in the comment section. And next time we will take a closer look at what people without Dragonblood would or indeed could do to obtain the powers of dragons. For this is also an interesting aspect of many fantasy stories. Because dragons are so powerful, their power is coveted by essentially everybody that is not them. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.